ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। The three states and you. படிக்கலாம்.
Waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, and you. The self conditioned by desires has adopted three distinct personalities as waker, dreamer, and deep sleeper. The three of them are unaware of their conditioning. They believe all is well with them. Each one finds no need to set right one's present status. It is like one being under the influence of alcohol, who does not realize he has lost his own personality and assumed a false one. And he conducts himself as that alien person, believing he is fine. Likewise, having lost identity with the real self, you assume three false statuses as waker, dreamer, or deep sleeper. In the waking state of consciousness, you assume the position of the waker experiencing the waking world. The waking world exists only for the waker and not for you. The entire waking world disappears when you leave the waking state and enter either the dream or deep sleep. Again, in the dream state of consciousness, you assume the position of the dreamer experiencing the dream world. The dream world exists for the dreamer alone, not for you. The dream world also disappears no sooner you leave the dream state and enter either the deep sleep or waking. In the deep sleep state of consciousness, you assume the position of the deep sleeper experiencing nothing. The experience of nothingness is for the deep sleeper alone, not for you. The world of nothingness also disappears when you leave the deep sleep state and enter either of the other two states. Your life revolves around these three states of consciousness when you assume the personalities of the waker, dreamer, and deep sleeper. All the three, waker, dreamer, and deep sleeper, do not know you. The three are states of your conditioned consciousness. They have lost their original state of pure consciousness, lost you, and have become totally complacent in their own enclaves, each swearing by his own state. The waker believes entirely in his existence and the waking world he lives in. He rejects the other two states of the dream and deep sleep. So does the dreamer swear by his own state. The dreamer also believes in himself alone and the dream world he lives in. He rejects the other two states. As far as the deep sleeper is concerned, he is steeped in a gulf of ignorance. He knows nothing, believes in nothing, experiences nothing. However, the waker alone has an edge over the dreamer and the deep sleeper. The dreamer and deep sleeper cannot conceive, much less investigate you, the origin of the three states. Only the waker is privileged with a subtle intellect to conceive beyond his conditioned state of waking. Investigate you. Thus, in the waking state, the waker can aspire to shed his conditioning and reach the unconditioned you, attain self-realization. However, a human needs to be spiritually evolved to raise the question as to who he is, the waker, dreamer, or deep sleeper. You seem to swear by all the three at different states. Then which one of them is really you? There's a parable in the scripture which throws light on this realm of ignorance, which every human being ought to investigate. King Janaka was an evolved person. One night, as he lay in bed, he dreamt a horrible dream. He dreamt he was a beggar in the streets suffering from penury and starvation. He shot out of his bed. Even as he woke up to be the king in the luxury of the palace, he could not shake away that vivid experience of the beggar. He wondered how he could have been a beggar a while ago and now the king. Janaka summoned his ministers and posed the famous question ever asked by a human being. Am I the king who imagined that I was a beggar, or am I the beggar now imagining myself to be the king? Who am I? The ministers were totally perplexed and could not answer the king. They lacked the spiritual acumen even to appreciate the magnitude of the question. Time passed, but the king would not be appeased. The indefatigable question persisted in his mind until a spiritually awakened sage, Ashtavakra, was brought in to answer the king. To that enlightened master, the king posed the same question as though the dream had just passed. Am I the king who imagined myself to be a beggar, or am I the beggar now imagining to be a king? The sage replied with his resounding words of wisdom, you are neither. You are not the king. You are not the beggar. You are the self. Now the self is imagining to be the king. A while ago the self imagined to be the beggar. The self, having lost its real state, assumes the position of the waker in the waking state, the dreamer in the dream state, and the deep sleeper in the deep sleep state. The waker, dreamer, and deep sleeper are conditioned bodies. Your unconditioned real state is the Supreme Self, not king, not beggar, not nothing. King Janaka reverentially received the message and found the self. So must you recognize your mission as a human being, to release yourself from the prison houses of the waking, dream, and deep sleep. Realize you are not the waker, dreamer, or deep sleeper. You are the immaculate self. Recognize your essential being. Attain self-realization, spiritual enlightenment. You are heir to it.
The waker, the dreamer, the deep sleeper, and you. three distinct experiences happen. The three distinct experiences is the waker experience, the dreamer experience, and the deep sleeper experience. So you find there are these three distinct experiences happening. Distinct and different from these three experiences is the reality, which is you. So the waker, the dreamer, the deep sleeper, and you. Straight away, it means you are not the waker, you are not the dreamer, you are not the deep sleeper. Straight away, it means that. How do we understand these three states? The waking state, the dream state, and the deep sleep state. For any state to understand, three factors play. To understand these three states, you must to understand any state, there are three factors that play. One is the condition of the mind. Second one is the nature of experience. The third one is medium through which it is experienced. Again, the condition of the mind, the nature of experience, the medium of experience. If you take the waking state, what is the condition of the mind in the waking state? The subtle body is fully available. The mind, the intellect, etc. is fully available in the dream state. Sorry, in the waking state. First difference between waking state and dream state is what? The mind is fully available, present. It means the mind is available, the intellect is available, all that is so the condition of the mind is all the faculties of the subtle body are fully operational. This is or fully operational is the condition of the mind in the waking state. What is the nature of the experience? First thing, it experiences an external world. First thing, in the waking state, you experience an external world. Number two, that external world is tangible. Number three, you are experiencing the objective experience. Number four, sense organs comes into play. Sense organs come into play. Sense organs based experience. Number five, there is a two-way transaction. What is a two-way transaction? You give something to the world gives something back to you. So what is the nature of experience? The nature of experience is it is external, it is tangible, it is objective, sense organs, two-way transaction. This is the nature of experience. What is the medium of experience? The gross body and the subtle body. So in the waking state, the gross body and the subtle body becomes a medium of experience by which you experience an objective external world. This is waking state. What is the dream state? You should be able to say now. What is the condition of the mind in the dream state? Only the memory is available. Only the memory part of is available. What is the nature of experience? Opposite of it is exactly the opposite of waking experience. In the waking world, if you are experiencing an external world, in the dream world, the nature of experiences, it's an internal world. Meaning, two persons sleeping on the same bed will have two different dream experiences. They will not be having the same dream. In this classroom, if there are 10 of us sitting, all 10, you can't say from 7:45 to 9 o'clock, sir showed us jailer movie. Can anybody say that here? You cannot, because we experience the objective world. In the dream, it is purely an internal, abstract, subjective world. What is it based upon? Memory and vasanas. That's all. It just comes out, expresses, and goes back. What is the medium of experience? Mind, the subtle body, memory. Then comes the deep sleep state. What is the factors of the deep sleep state? Condition of the mind. What is the condition of the mind in deep sleep state? Absent. Absent. Dormant. Unmanifest. Nature of experience. What is the nature of experience? Self-ignorance. Are you able to follow? In the waking state, you have an experience of who you are. In the dream state also, you can say who you are. What is the nature of experience in deep sleep state? A total self-ignorance. Are you able to follow? Deep sleep means a state of total ignorance. Ignorance of what? Ignorance of you and ignorance of everything around you. What is the medium of experience there? The causal body alone. These are the three states of waking, dream, and deep sleep with the corresponding condition of the mind, the nature of experience, and the medium of experience. In the waking state, the 10 sense organs, karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, the mano, buddhi, chit, ahankar, everything is fully functioning, available. It's all fully functioning, available. In the dream state, in the waking state, all the sense organs, the mind, intellect, etc., seems to go outward. The consciousness, the attention, all seems to go outward. In the dream state, what is happening? In the dream state, the sense organs, the subtle body, everything seem to turn inward. In the deep sleep state, there is neither inward movement nor outward movement, no movement. So what are the three states? An outward movement, and then an inward movement, and temporary cessation of all movements. Temporary cessation of all movements. Are you able to follow? Again, I repeat. In the waking state, it seems to be an outward movement. In the dream state, it all happens in the inward movement. In the deep sleep state, you should not say no movement. You should say temporary cessation of, temporary absence of all movements. Thus, the human being goes through these three experiences: waking, dream, deep sleep. Waking, dream, deep sleep, based on the condition of the mind, the nature of the experience, and the medium of experience. Are you okay till now? You may ask, sir, why are you sitting and studying all these things? What is the purpose of reading all these things? Waking state is a collection of experiences. Dream state is a recollection of experiences. In waking state, you go on collecting. So many things you collect. Waking state. In the dream state, what will happen? All that you have collected gets recollected. You will see suddenly you will see a car, you will see a camel, you will see something, all unconnected things. In the dream, all that which you have collected in the waking state recollects itself in the dream. So what will happen? You will be flying. You will be flying, sitting on the camel, you will be flying and looking at the car parked. From where did all this come from? From the waking. So, waking state is a collection. Dream state is a recollection. Obviously, it means what? You cannot recollect unless what? Unless you have collected. So, waking state is one experience. Dream state is another experience. Distinct and different from that is deep sleep experience. So, the human being goes through these three experience, and the deep sleep is an ignorant state. That's why when we defined the deep sleep, we said it's a state of self-ignorance. You are there and you don't know you are there. Are you able to follow? Why it is called ignorant and why it is called self-ignorant? You are there in deep sleep. Are you not there? You are there in deep sleep. And you want to know that you are there. Why you want to know that you are there? All the instruments through which you know you are there stops functioning temporarily. Therefore, you won't know you are there. Again, all the instruments by which you know you are there stops functioning temporarily. When all the instruments by which you know you are there stops temporarily functioning, you won't know that you are there, though it is very clear that you are there. Correct? That's why every time you wake up, you will not ask, who am I? Isn't it? Every time you wake up, even though you have been ignorant for a period of time, you wake up exactly the same. It means what? You are there and you are not aware that you are there. These are the three states of waking, dream, and deep sleep. The distinction between waking and dream state is, in the waking state, effort is possible, actions can be done. In the dream state, there is no conscious choice, etc. happens in the dream state. You just go through a few things, exhaust and get out. So in the waking state alone, the faculties are fully available. What are the faculties that is fully available? The mind and the intellect is fully available. Since the mind is fully available, possibility of inquiry, doing the right effort, all that is possible in the waking state alone. Therefore, all Vedanta is addressed to the waker. All Vedanta is addressed to the waker. Dreamer kitta poi enna pesa mudiyum? What can you talk to the dreamer? Because dreamer won't allow you at all. Waker, as a waker, you will allow. Are you able to understand the difference now? As a waker, there is a two-way transaction. You will allow. Dreaming is an exclusive world. In that exclusive world, nobody has any access to that world except except to that particular dream. So there is no two-way transaction and all there. In the waking state, you have to see an external world. And if you have to see an external world, you have to operate the sense organs. And if you have to operate the sense organs, you need a physical body. Therefore, without the physical body, the physical universe cannot be experienced. This is waking state. Core state understand பண்ணோம்னா it's easy to understand the dream. And deep sleep means the absence of waking and dream. Deep sleep is the absence of the waker and the dreamer. I ask a question, and if you give an answer, we are in the waking state. I ask a question, and if you are not even hearing the question, it means you are in the dream state. Are you able to follow? This is a two-way transaction. I ask a question, you will give a reply. Some reply you will give. Right, wrong, doesn't matter. Right reply, wrong reply, good reply, other one. But some, I ask a question and you don't even hear it. It means what? You ask a question. Another question just to check whether people are in which state. Supposing if we find out everybody is in the dream state, it's easy. Yeah, we can wind up and I can also go. So when you ask a question, the response indicates a two-way transaction. The response indicates a two-way transaction. Why? Because this class is external to you. Are you able to follow? This class is not happening in your mind. This class is not happening in your dream. This class is external to you. Since it is external to you, everything has to be externalized. Everything has to go outward. Only when everything goes outward, you can have an experience of what is outside. This is the waking world. Exactly opposite of that is the dream world. What is dream world? Audio video replay of the waking state. Audio video replay. Something happened in the waking state and dream state comes up in the dream state. Rationality doesn't function. In the dream state, rationality doesn't function. Meaning there is no vichara there. There is no questioning there. There is no inquiry there. That is not possible in the dream state. Second thing is mind is also not available. Mind is also not available means it cannot experience any fresh, it cannot experience any new emotion, any fresh emotion. Whatever it comes up, it just exhausts that and it goes. In the waking state, you can experience all kinds of emotions because of the transaction. In the dream state, all that is not possible. But sir, rational faculty is not functioning in the waking state only. No? Yeah. Rational faculty is supposed to function in the waking state. Even in the waking state, if it is not functioning, what do we do? Yeah, it may not be the perfect rational ideal way, but still it keeps functioning. Waking state is a fully functioning subtle body. Dream state. Now, with this comparison, what do you understand? Waking state is a fully functioning waking state is a fully functioning available subtle body. In the dream state, partially functioning subtle body, absence of the gross body and the external world. So what is the dream state now? Partial functioning subtle body and the absence of the gross body and the external world. Why do we call the dream as internal? Because it is created by your mind and your memory, to which nobody else has access to. There is no connection between the dream objects that I will have and the surrounding that I might be in sleeping. The surrounding that I might be sleeping may be an air-conditioned room, but in the dream I will be sweating and suffering. In the dream I will be sweating and suffering. Therefore, the internal world is created by the memory. Even what is happening around you is not available to you, and what you are experiencing is completely unavailable to everybody else other than you. That's why it's called the dream. Dream means a world, an experience that is available only to you and only you access it without any connection with nobody will have any access to it. That's why you wake up and say, I had a dream. The other person will nod the head. They don't even understand it. Why? Because it is something that is purely of you. Waking state, thoughts are tangible. Therefore, the objects that it creates are also tangible. In the dream state, thoughts are not tangible. Therefore, the objects there are also not tangible. World is subjective and common to the wakers is the waking. In the dream world, it is only available to you and not existing for others. You may be sleeping and in your dream, you will be having excellent seva. Tirupati, Venkatachalapati, Balaji seva, you will have in your dream. The person sleeping next to you will not wake up and say, oh, we had a beautiful darshan. No. The person sleeping next to you may be somewhere else, totally unconnected. You are seeing Balaji, Tirupati Balaji, online ticket kadakave matters, isn't it? Huh? Still you have not gotten, no? Trying, we are not getting the ticket only. Yeah. And every week, sir, next week only we are getting, sir. This week, next week only we are. I said, okay, next week. Again, next week only we are getting, sir. I said, forget Balaji. We are not going to get easy to see Balaji. Close your eyes and go off to sleep. Balaji will give. Right away, he is going to give full darshan. Now that you are seeing Balaji, you immediately call me and say, sir, I am having good darshan of Balaji. You also come and see. What will happen? What will happen? Not only I can see Balaji, you will also stop seeing Balaji because you have woken up. Are you able to follow? It means dream is a very subjective phenomena, very subjective experience. But sir, sometimes I experience rare dreams which I have not experienced at all in the waking state. Impossible. Forget it. Don't get into all this weird, don't get into all this weird, insane notions. All that has happened is two different objects that you experience in the waking state, the dream combines it, that's all. Like Narsimha. Face of the human being and body of the lion. Will it ever combine like that? In the dream, it can combine. There you will get the form of Narsimha. It means what? What all you see gets jumbled up, mixed up in the dream. That's all it is. There is no new if you have not collected, you can never. If you have not collected, you can never recollect. One. Number two, what all you have collected get mixed up and it may give the appearance as though it is something new. Actually, it is not new. Why? Because you can understand Narsimha only if you know the lion body and the human face. Are you able to follow the example? It's not a new object, combination of different objects. So, Mansha body taniya paakano, line taniya paatha, dream என்ன ஆகும்? Both will get mixed up. Where you may have a lion face and a human body also. It is also possible. Why only human face and a lion body? You can even have a lion face and a human body. Therefore, new objects cannot be experienced in the dream state because objects being memory based, it gets mixed up like that. There is no such thing. Otherwise, people have the weird notion about this dream thing. So, since we are getting a chance to study these three states, we might as well study these three states fully. Second thing, another option people will come up and say is, sir, but I'm experiencing a totally new thing, which I have never experienced in the waking state. Whatever is fantasized or read or whatever you want to do and couldn't to do in the waking state, you will do it in dream state. In the waking state, from Subramanian. In the waking state, you want to punch the nose of your mother-in-law. Can you do that in the waking state? You cannot. In the dream, you can do. In the dream, you can. In the dream, you will be in the night, you will have the dream as though like one Muhammad Ali knockout punch. Knockout punch you gave. That's all. So there is no new experience there. What you have fantasized, happens. Somebody will come and say, no, sir, it is not like that. I have. What is going to happen in future? I'm seeing it, sir, in the dream. What is going to happen in the future? God himself doesn't know. How can in your dream you will know? People come and say this, sir, whatever is going to happen in the future, Vedanta, you may not believe in all these things, sir. Vedanta doesn't believe in all these things. Vedanta doesn't accept all these things. But, sir, in reality, dreams come true. How can you have a dream of a future event when all dreams relates to the past. It's not possible. Doesn't matter. Dream is related to the memory. Memory is related to the past. How can you have a memory of a future event? Dream is always based on past alone. Then dream means it is based on the past. So a dream can never project anything onto the future. Sometimes what happens is you live such a routine mechanical life. இன்னைக்கு சாப்பிட்ட அதே இட்லி தான் you will eat 3 months later also. So same thing happens. It's not the future event. It means you are just continuing the continuity of the past so much that nothing ever happens new in your life. Therefore, in your dream, so I experienced a few. What is that word they use? Premonition, no? Premonition, something, some weird word is there in English.
Referring to something like deja vu.
ESP, premonition, meaning, sir, I have this power, sir. What is that power I have? What all is going to happen in future? I know. It means you have become Krishna, because only Krishna has said very clearly that I know the past, present, and future. You don't know. If anybody comes and says I have known the future, that too in your dream. Dream-nale adu your imaginary subjective world nu provides. Are you able to follow? See, dream is proven as your imaginary subjective world where it has got nothing to do with what is going to happen out there. Also, dream comes out of the memory, the past. How can there be anything in relation to future? Trikala Jnani, sir, I am. That is why what is going to happen 3 months later has come in my dream today. Trikala Jnani Argun, isn't it? All these things don't happen. So what is the waking state? Through the functioning of the gross body and subtle body, you experience an objective world, a two-way transaction. What is the dream world? The dream world is purely a subjective phenomena, arises out of your memory, experiences, and get out. And what is the deep sleep state? The deep sleep state is a state of self-ignorance. You are there and you are not aware that you are there. You will be there and you will not be aware that you are there. These are all the 3 states of consciousness. Deep sleep, or sometimes they have to call it as dreamless sleep. Sushupti. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Since the subtle body is not at all functioning, none of the faculties of subtle body will be available. When none of the faculties of the subtle body is not available, gross body also will not be available. External world is not there. The memory created world is also not there. Then what is it? Because we don't have any other word, we call it as a state of blankness, nothingness, ignorance. Because there is no other word. Because the partial and the full is already explained in waking state and dream state. Therefore, we say it is a state of total blankness, a state of total ignorance. These are the 3 states. Avastha Trayam. Avastha Trayam means the 3 states of experiences. I'm not going into the full details of the waking dream and deep sleep state of analysis. Because if you have to do a complete study of the waking dream and deep sleep state analysis, you have to study the Mandukya and the Karika. The one Upanishad that is completely dedicated to the very extra. What we did today is not even elementary. The ABCD of waking state, dream state. If you go into that Manduki and Karika, the way they analyze those three states, etc., is so deep and penetrate. Are you okay with these three states now? No? All these analyses are done to state you are not that. All this analysis are done for what? For what purposes all this is done? To prove that there is no waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. The way and all this analysis are done and everything looks like there is a waker, there is a dreamer, there is a deep sleeper. All this analysis, all the study is done to prove that there is no waker, there is no dreamer, there is no deep sleeper. So one thing is directly to say there is no dreamer, there is no waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. Another thing is to break it up into so much of details and then telling you that it is not there. Vedanta takes that analysis. So anything that Vedanta goes into a detailed analysis, what you should understand? Detailed analysis is done to prove the non-existence of it. Remember that. Venkatachalam. Vedanta, if anything that is analyzed in detail, it is only to prove non-existent. In the sciences, detailed study and analysis will be done to prove its existence. Same detailed study and analysis will be done here to prove non-existence. அதனால இங்க ஒரு கால் அங்க ஒரு கால்லாம் வைக்க முடியாது. Yeah, one leg there, one leg here, little bit there, little bit here. இதெல்லாம் you keep trying. Janma after Janma, you will keep trying. Who is going to stop one day? God only knows. So all the study and analysis done to prove the existence. In Vedanta, any detailed analysis done in Vedanta, what you should know. அது இல்லைன்னு சொல்றதுக்கு இவ்வளவு அனாலிசிஸ். To prove that it is not there, so much of study is done. Straight away known சொல்லிட்டு போயிடலாமே. Straight away it is not there, you can say and go. No, you cannot. Why? Because you being caught up in these three experiences, you can never conceive that you are not the waker, you are not the dreamer, you are not the deep sleeper. Because you are so involved and attached to those experiences, it is very difficult even to conceive the theoretical possibility that you may not be the waker, you may not be the dreamer, you may not be the deep sleeper. And if anybody says, I have understood, it means very clear. What? I have not understood. It was, I still remember during the course time, some waking dream deep sleep analysis was happening, that lesson we are doing and all that. So we went into detailed study, morning class, evening class, group discussion class, dining table class. Allah, it will be like until if one lesson is going on, morning till night, we'll be talking only about that lesson. I still remember that person. Nambur Alda, Shankar. Nambur Alda, our fellow only. Sir, this waking dream deep sleep state is so simple to understand. Why are you all sitting and studying it for so long? Waking dream deep sleep, you are not the waker, you are not the dreamer, you are not the deep sleeper. You are the waker now, you are the dreamer then, you are the deep sleeper then. It is very so clear, no sir. Why so much of doubt in that? No, what can you do? Analysis is done not to prove it. Analysis is done to negate it. That is why the Vedantic method of analysis is negation, neti. So much about the waking state, they talk about it so extraordinarily, and then the conclusion is what is? The conclusion will throw you off balance. What is the conclusion that throw you off balance?
All of the three.
All these three doesn't exist. Okay? When all these three doesn't exist, how can you analyze it so much? How can you talk about it so much? How can you analyze about it so much when it is not there? Then comes the fourth. In the three oda utrunda, there is no problem. Then comes the fourth. What is the fourth? Waking, dream, deep sleep, or unit. That waking, dream, deep sleep is one unit. Distinct and different from the waking, dream, deep sleeper unit is you. Abdina, what is this you? Who's this you? That is Janaka's problem. Janaka is not asking, am I the dreamer or the waker? That's not what he is asking. He is asking, all these three is not me, then who? Then who am I? That is Janaka's question. We'll come to that. Janaka's question, we'll come and we'll study a little bit of Janaka's question also. Are you okay with all this now? Waking, dream, deep sleep is very clear. Okay. Why it is said and you means it is distinct and different. It's you. The technical word that they use with reference to waking, dream, and deep sleep is turiyam. The Sanskrit word is turiyam. Loosely, we talk about turiyam as the fourth state. Actually, turiyam is not the fourth state. You cannot call it as the fourth state. There are only three states. There is no fourth state. Even though very loosely we say turiyam means the fourth state, the fourth state, the fourth state. Literally, what it means is, how do I know that I am the? How do I know that I am the? How do I understand or how do I know that what is this turiyam? That is a question. What is turiyam? First thing, turiyam is not a state. Turiyam is a number. The moment you bring in the meaning of a state, what will come along with it? The moment you bring in the meaning of a state, there will be an instrument, there will be the condition of them, all that will come in. Because you cannot have a state without these three. Are you able to follow now? You cannot have a state without these three. Therefore, turiyam is not a state, even though in a very loose way you can call it as the fourth state of consciousness. The fourth state of consciousness. And I have heard any number of people repeating it. Fourth state of consciousness. The fourth state of consciousness. So there is no fourth state. It's a number. Number because it cannot be fit into a state. Why a number is given? A number will be given when it cannot be fitted into a state. Like, police காரனுக்குலாம் நம்பர் தான் கொடுப்பாங்க. In the defense also numbers will be given. Employee number will be given, isn't it? Yeah. Are you able to follow? Number means which is unconnected to a state. Number implies that it is not connected to any state. It's not a state. A number actually doesn't mean anything. A mere number. that which exists when these three dissolves. That is the fourth. U. Here we are using thurium and U as synonymous. Are you able to follow? Here U and thurium is used very synonymously. Waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, and you. If you think you are the waker and you again doro, that itself is a proof that when you say, when it is addressed to the waker, waker and you, that itself there is a fundamental segregation that has happened. What is the segregation? This is the segregation. What is the segregation? That which is not a state of experience. That which is disassociated from everything. Then the important question is, if thuriam means Brahman, if thuriam means Atman, if thuriam means you, how can this disassociation happen? How can this disassociation happen? You cannot experientially dissociate from waker, dreamer, and deep sleeper and say, I am Brahman. Experientially, you cannot say that. Why? Why you cannot experientially say, I am different from all these three? You cannot say that experientially. Why? Whatsoever you do is confined to these three states. Whatsoever you do is bound by these three states. Whatsoever you do is limited by these three states. Whatsoever you do is conditioned by these three states. Therefore, you cannot disassociate through an experience. Waker is one experiencer, dreamer is another experiencer, deep sleeper is another experiencer. For 20 minutes, I had the experience of Brahmana. You can't say that. Are you able to follow? Logically also it cannot be separated, because Atman being all pervading, Atma being all pervasive, where is the separation possible then? So through experience you cannot do it. Through the method of analysis, you cannot segregate and say this is this and this is that. Then how can this disassociation be done? This is the classic, unique Vedantic method. All other systems talks about God and everything. We'll talk about it either an experience or an intellectual comprehension. All the religions talks about God as an experience. You have seen God. I have felt God. I have understood God. So all explanations of God will be in the realm of an experience. An experience means in these three experience means which will fit under these three realms only. Vedanta comes, there is a third type, which is so unique only. That's why it's called Vedanta. Vedanta nale, the unique type, the third type, which is not available to any other, which is not known or available to any other. What is the third method? This is the third method. Atma Bodhala, he gives an example. Beautiful example is given in the Atma Bodha. How does it happen? In the presence of the red flower, a crystal appears to be red in color. Are you able to follow? In the presence of the red flower, a crystal appears to be red in color. How can the red color be removed from the crystal without removing the flower? Question Adha. Janaka's question is that. This is Janaka's question. How can the red color be removed from the crystal without removing the flower? The normal answer is, what is the normal answer? It is not possible. The normal answer is it is not possible, because if you have to remove the red color from the crystal, the red flower has to be removed, because only by removal of the red flower, the red color of the crystal goes. Very simple, sir. Remove it. Vedanta comes and says, this is Vedanta. Comes and says, no, no, no. Let the crystal be there. Let the flower also be there. Just understand what the red color is, an appearance. There is no red color. The red color is an appearance. Crystal does not have the red color, and the red color is only an appearance. Are you okay till now? Since the red color is only an appearance, the crystal can continue to appear red. The crystal, the red color can continue to appear red. But the colorless nature of the crystal is not affected. But the colorless nature of the crystal still remains unaffected only. Nothing needs to be done to remove the red color from the crystal. அதை தேய்க்க வேணாம், clean பண்ண வேணாம், wash பண்ண வேணாம். You did not take the red flower away. All that you need to do is what? The red color is an appearance, and in no way affects the colorless crystal. Therefore, you need not worry about the disappearance of the red color at all, because the red color in any way didn't affect the colorless crystal. Are you okay? Example okay. Example is okay. Example okay. Now you have understood. Means what? The waking and dream and deep sleep state is an appearances, whereas you are not that. It's an appearance. Because of the proximity, the colorless crystal has misunderstood that it has become red. Again, because of the proximity, the colorless crystal has started to believe, has started to imagine what? I am red in color. Are you able to follow? What does Vedanta come and do? What is the knowledge telling you now? It is addressing the crystal. Now the crystal is crying. What is the crystal crying now? I have become red in color. What should I do to get back to my original colorless state? Should I wash it off? Should I dip myself in the acid? Sorry. Should I go and dip myself in the Ganges river? Should I do this? Should I do that? What all I should do to get rid of the red color? Easiest way is what? Burn the flower. That's what we do. Burn the world, because it is because of the world. No. Any problem, burn the world, change the world, all problems get sorted out. அது என்ன ஆர்பிட்ரேஷன் பண்ணாலும் அதெல்லாம் போவாது, அப்படியே இருக்கும். All problems will continue to remain. Vijayarangan. More arbitration, more you will go. More arbitration you do, more problems you will create. Already அவங்களே 10 ப்ராப்ளம்ல இருக்கிறாங்க. நான் ப்ராப்ளம் சால்வ் பண்றேன், he is creating the 11th problem. அதுக்கு அவ்வளவு டிமாண்ட் வேற அவருக்கு, பாவம். When he was telling me about his demand, I was so tempted to say, at least I will come to you as your driver, I thought. Yeah. At least ஒரு டிரைவரா அவர்கிட்ட வேலைக்கு போடலாம்னு நினைச்சேன். How do you understand that? How to tell the crystal that you are not red in color? How to understand that? How to educate the crystal? How to educate the crystal? The red color that you are seeing is an appearance. The red color that you are seeing is an appearance. The red color that you are seeing is an appearance. The waking, dream, deep sleeping experiences is an appearance. The waker, the dreamer, the deep sleeper are appearances. That which is an appearance, you have given it a status of Satyam. The Mithyam is given the status of Satyam. The Mithyam is given the status of Satyam because of what? Because of ignorance. Therefore, what needs to be done? Understanding has to be there. What is understanding? Mithyam is Mithyam. Mithyam nu purinjindale porum. Satyama pati we need not bother at all. If Mithyam is understood, that's enough. Because if Mithyam is understood, Mithyam disappears. If snake is understood rightly, snake will not convert itself into rope. If snake is understood rightly, what happens? Snake disappears. Actually, snake disappearance கூட சொல்லக்கூடாது. Snake வரவே இல்லைன்னு சொல்லணும். Snake never happened. The snake never happened. You will not say right understanding means the snake disappeared. That is also a very இதெல்லாம் கிளாஸ்ல இருந்து இருக்கிற borrowed understanding. Snake disappeared ன்னு சொன்னா borrowed understanding. What is the real understanding about the snake? Snake never happened. Snake never happened. Snake never existed in the first place for it to disappear. It means the waking, dream, deep sleep states never happened. These three never existed. Always it is only you. Always what was existing is you, not these three states. Because of proximity, because of association, you have started identifying with it, and identification means what? Mithyam is given the status of Satyam. Again I repeat, identification means the Mithyam is given the status of Satyam. Nasato vidyate bhavaha nabhavo vidyate satah vayorapi drishtontah tunayoho tattvadarshibhihi. 16-17, chapter 2, Bhagavad Gita. The Mithyam is given the status of Satyam. The temporary is given the status of permanent. That which is not existing but appears to be existing, you get carried away by the appearance and identify with the appearance, and the moment you identify with the appearance, you will start claiming it as me. So when you are in the waker, you identify with the waking experience so much, you will say, I am the waker. No gods can come and convince you that you are not the waker. When you go into the deep sleep, when you go into the dream state, you will identify with the dreamer and you will say, I am the dreamer. No gods can convince you that you are not the dreamer. Same thing happens in the deep sleep. If gods were to continue the conversation for 10 more minutes, you will convince God. Whether God is convincing you or not, well, you will easily convince, because the intensity of your the intensity of your conviction is so strong that how much ever you hear, it doesn't change, it doesn't yield. Waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, and you. So what is the crystal saying? I seem to appear as the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. I am ever free from all these. That is why it is said waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, and you. Even though I say I am the waker, even though you say I am the dreamer, even though you say I am the deep sleeper, You understand that it's only an appearance. I have nothing to do with any of these. Turiyam means that which is free from this. You means freedom from this. That's why the Mandukya Upanishad says it is Turiyam and Advaitam, it says. The word Advaita comes there only. It is Turiyam and it says it is Advaitam. Mandukya Upanishad, mantra 7. Beautiful mantra. இந்த ஒரு மந்திரா முடிக்கிறதுக்கே 5 days ஆகும். Just to study that one mantra of Mandukya, mantra 7. Beautiful it is. Turiyam is free from the waking dream deep sleep, not as an experience, but as the colorless nature of the crystal while appearing red. Again, I repeat, the colorless nature of the crystal while appearing red. It means segregation happened where? No segregation happened between the crystal and the color. Where did the segregation happen? Where did the transformation happen? Yes. In you. You have identification have stopped. All that we have to do to attain liberation is what? We have to say, I am not the waker, I am not the dreamer, I am not the deep sleeper. Liberation is very easy. All that we have to say is, I am not the dreamer, I am not the waker, I am not the dreamer, I am not the deep sleeper. For the crystal to gain liberation from the red color, what it has to do? The red color cannot touch me. What should the crystal do to gain freedom from the red color? It should simply say, the red color has no capacity to touch me. The red color has no capacity to influence me. The red color has no capacity to change me. Why? Because I remain colorless ever. In the past, present, and future, I remain colorless ever. The red color is an appearance. The waking state is an appearance. The dream state is an appearance. The deep sleep state is an appearance. And you are different from these. Therefore, the topic. What is the attachment here? The Holocaust of attachment. What is the attachment here? Identification. You got attached to the waking state. As soon as you get into the waker, you will become attached to the, as soon as you get into the waking state, you will get attached to the waker. As soon as you get into the dream state, you will get attached to the dreamer. As soon as you get into the deep sleep state, you will get attached to the deep sleep. So in all the 3 states, you get attached to that particular state. When you are attached to one, obviously you will negate the other 2. That is obvious. When you are attached to that, automatically you will negate the other 2. Therefore, what is this you here? You here is the Turiyam. The you here is Brahman. The you here refers to Brahman, Atman, Turiyam, any name you give, Purnam, you can give. You can say Purnam, you can say Sakshi, you can say Prajnanam, you can say Brahman, you can say Atman. All that means is what? No experience can affect you. No experience can influence you. No experience can affect you unless you identify with it. Are you able to follow now? Experiences start affecting you only when you identify with it. As long as you do not identify with it, no experience can affect you. Therefore, you is the one should not get attached to the three. What are the three? The waker, dreamer, and deep sleeper. That is Janaka's question. What did Janaka ask? Am I the king or am I the beggar? There's no doubt. Dream state na beggar, waking state na king. Where is the doubt? Answer is very. Ashtavakra came and said, no. Because of the capacity of identification and imagination, Kalpana Shakti, anything you can imagine yourself to be. You can imagine yourself to be a king today. You can imagine yourself to be a beggar. Third day, you can imagine yourself to be a deva. Fourth day, you can imagine yourself to be a rakshasa. Fifth day, you can imagine yourself to be a mosquito. Seventh day, you can imagine yourself to be a cockroach. You can imagine anything. And then you will come and ask, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Because of imagination, you can identify anything and you can say, I am that. It's all because of imagination. Wrong identification. The waker, dreamer, deep sleeper are conditioned. What is conditioning? That we have already seen. Conditioning means the three. A state means it is conditioned, and the conditioning means it necessarily comprises these three. He simply says the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper are conditioned bodies. Now, what goes into the conditioning and all, we elaborate. What all goes into the conditioning, we elaborate. Your unconditioned real state is a supreme self, not king, not beggar, not anything. Because if you can identify with the king, you can identify with the beggar. You can identify with the rakshasa. You can identify with anything. And then you can say, I am that. I am that. I am that. So must you recognize your mission as a human being. What is the mission? Not to take what you experience is real. Don't take your experiences as real. Our problem is, sir, I'm experiencing, therefore it is real. The reality you give to anything is based on what? I'm experiencing it, sir. How can my experience go wrong? Are you able to follow? Yeah. Vedanta comes and says, oh, are you saying I experienced? Correct. If you say that you have experienced, it is mithya. Because all that is experienced comes under the category of mithyam. Are you able to understand? One entity experience. The conclusion is exactly the opposite. One conclusion it is satyam. Another conclusion is it is mithyam. So Upanishad comes and says, Vedanta comes and says, all that you have, if you say, I have experienced, it means it belongs to the category of mithyam only. But good experiencer, divine experiences, the experience of God in Mount Kailash. What is all that experience? Experience nale, it is mithyam. And waking dream deep sleep is experience. Therefore it is mithyam. Sir, this class, sir, beautiful experience. No, sometimes we get it so almost like we are getting it. What is this? Mithyam. Idu mithyam. Because the moment you say experience, it comes under the category of mithyam. What is your experience? All your experiences can be put into these three words. waking state, waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. So all your identification, all your identification, all your experiences, everything of yours can be confined to these three: waking, dream, deep sleep. Waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. You are different from this. You are distinct and different. And this you is not an experience. This you is not an experience. Recognize your essential being, attain self-realization, spiritual enlightenment. You are heir to it. You are heir to it means it's your birthright. It's your birthright. Claim that. Instead of claiming political freedom, financial freedom, right to express, right to talk, right to speech, right to murder, I don't know what all rights people claim. I have a right to shout, no, sir. But don't I have the right to shout? Don't I have the right to get angry? Instead of claiming all these Mithyam rights, claim Satyam right. That is waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, and you. Solomon.
There are few clarifications by Mala, Prasad, and then Venkatachala.
Yes, Venkatachala.
My question relates to this appearance. I know in several forums we have discussed this. This appearance is again, as I understand, or appearance or attachment or wrong identification is for the manifested Brahman.
Yes.
It as though the manifested Brahman
has
this appearance
yes.
of this thing. And again, I cannot ask this question, why this appearance for manifest, then it will go under the thing Maya.
Exactly.
Am I right?
Yes, exactly.
I cannot ask the question why,
yes.
But understand that it is manifestation, and all this manifestation or all this attachment or appearance or time bound, time, space, and causation bound.
Yes.
That's the reason it keeps
that's the reason.
And
yes.
changing with respect to time.
That's the reason. Yes.
And the manifestation happens only because we don't understand why manifestation occurred, because it is Maya.
Yes, we can never understand. Any experience is finite by nature. You cannot have an infinite experience. Okay. Experience means it is finite by nature. And anything finite can associate and disassociate. Again, I repeat. Experiences means finite. Time, space, causation. Finite, limited by the time, space, and causation. If I am experiencing something here, I cannot experience it elsewhere at the same time. Bound by space, bound by time, bound by causation. So, experience means which is finite by nature. Finite means time, space, causation, finite. So, all that is finite only can associate and disassociate. All that is finite alone can associate and disassociate. For anything infinite, what it is associating with? Are you okay till now?
Yes.
Association means an instrument and the presence of the corresponding object. Again, I repeat. Are you able to follow now? Experience means the availability of the instrument and the availability of the corresponding object. I as an instrument, there has to be an object with color and form. It can. So, first one, it is finite. Second is, it has to be restricted to a availability of the instrument and the form. And instruments are not available all the time. Corresponding objects are also not available all the time. Therefore, in one word, all this put together is Mityam. If all that is experienced is Mityam, then what is Satyam? That which is never experienced is Satyam. If all that is experienced is Mityam, that which is never experienced is Satyam. Is there such a thing that is never experienced? Like the rabbit horns? Are we talking about Brahman like something like a rabbit horn? Because that thing never
Existed.
No. There is only one thing that exists, which is never experienced, and that is the
Brahman.
the experiencer, the observer, the awarer, that can never become the object of experience. Beautiful it is. Are you able to follow?
Absolutely.
If all are Mityam, again I am repeating it, carefully follow. Because you are experiencing it, it is Mityam. Therefore, whatever you from this, we come to a beautiful conclusion. What is the conclusion? Whatever you experience is Mithya because you experience it. Okay, if everything is experienced is Mithyam, then what is Satyam? How can there be a experience of Satyam? Then who is to experience that?
I.
The I, that is the I, which is not a subject matter of experience. That's what Kena Upanishad also says. Ear of eye of the eye, ear of ear. All Upanishad says, all Vedanta keeps repeating the same. It keeps repeating the same thing. If we have to prove the existence, when it is known to someone at some point of time. Existence nale enna artham? It is present at some point of time, known to somebody. Are you able to follow? If there is something that can never be known by anyone at any time, how can that exist? How can you even talk about it? Are you able to follow? Existence of an object is proved only when it is knowable. Being knowable is the criterion to prove the existence of anything. Existence requires knowability. Know the ability to know it. Then only you can say it exists. Anything that is known because there is something that is lending light to it. That I that is lending light to everything, by which you know everything, can never be known.
No.
All that you experience, take this as a mantra, Mari, remember it. If you are experiencing it, it is mantra Mari sollinar before. You will go mad very soon. Yeah, ரொம்ப சீக்கிரம் பைத்தியம் பிடிச்சிடும். Is okay, Venkatachalam?
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
So the only opportunity is, the only way is to transcend the Mithyatvam.
Yes.
As long as I continue to remain in Mithyatvam, I can never
Yes.
realize.
Yes, you cannot realize. I can only, yes, I can only keep negating it. So a continuous negation, disappearance happens. Whatever the truth is, it will remain.
Reveal itself.
Remain, yes, exactly. Can I say, Mala, can I say deep sleep is tamasic, dream state is rajasic, waking state is sattvic? Mala, abdillam போட்டு கன்ஃபியூஸ் பண்ணாதீங்க. Waking state you are sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. The waking state you can be extremely tamasic also. Isn't it? Therefore, don't bring in the gunas and compare it, because both are both give two different knowledges. Both are trying to explain it from two different angles. So don't equate it like, even loosely also you should not say deep sleep is tamasic, dream is rajasic, waking state is sattvic, even roughly. Because the question is Mala's question. Can I say deep sleep is tamasic, dream state is rajasic, waking state is sattvic, roughly? Roughly, fairly, எல்லாம் ஒண்ணுதான். What? Don't compare. Second clarification. If dream state lacks rational, why do Shastras talk about the merits and demerits of various dreams, some of which are told parihara to? This makes it appear as if dreams are a kind of a premonition, confusing. Could you clarify? Mala, I already explained Manita. Huh? I already explained it. Because dream is that which comes from your, it's your memory, the past. You can never have, you can take it, the law, you can never predict the future. Most of the times you are able to see the future is because this person is not going to do anything to change. Therefore, you can easily say, this fellow will be like this for the next 10 years also. It doesn't mean you are actually predicting the future. Are you able to follow? Based on your past, you are roughly saying this can happen in future. So, future prediction as such is not possible at all. Again, I repeat, future prediction is not possible. But you can say sometimes, and in the probability, sometimes your assessment will be right also. Based on what it is, you know the fellow's past, and you know that person is not doing anything to change. What will happen in the future? What will happen in the future will continue to be the same. So does it mean this person has predicted the future? No. It's not predicted the future. Since this person is not going to do anything to change, you can say future. But you can never say that in relation to the lion and the deer. I have predicted the future of the deer, that it will die on this day. Mudimadu. Impossible. Only human beings had all these weird things. Therefore, Shastras don't talk about the merits and demerits. No Shastra talks about the merits and demerits, makes it appear as if dreams are a kind of a premonition. Get rid of all this misunderstanding about these dreams. Unmute Panungo. Oh, she wants to say something.
Sir, புரியுது sir. See, if the dreams tend to kind of reflect my personality, then I mean it makes sense to say that the personalities will be, personalities could derive into certain action, and hence they can say, okay, in the dream and in the palan abdina. But
Correct.
some of the dreams, where some animals or something, snakes, then why do Shastras say that, the snake comes good, and I don't know what all plus and minus they give, but something to do with the animals. What is that kind of a dream to do with my behavior?
See, human beings, the today's children will never have a problem of the snakes and law. 100 years back, snake was a big problem. Today, children, unless in a zoo, they don't see. They don't see snakes at all. Therefore, that which you fear, that which you believe it's going to harm you, and all that thing that is happening is what comes there. It's very simple to follow.
That was so in that way. It was associated with their life.
Yes, that's all. It just got associated with it, and generations after generation, we were living life like that. We had the same thing. 100 years later, 100 years later, they will be fearing robots along and dream lo varum. Snakes varathu. Robots and dream lo varum. They will be fearing robots and things like that only. Because you follow what I'm saying? So snakes and all that, yes, it is a very good It's a very good indicator of something. It doesn't have any reality to it. Premonition, personality assessment, waking state personality assessment mudilla, which I didn't want to touch at all. Another thing that people do in that nowadays is by analyzing the dream, they will try to analyze your person. Waking state, I'm like full gross body, subtle body, when everything is fully available and fully transactional, we are not able to analyze anything. When nothing is available in the dream state, how can you take that and analyze and come to a conclusion? Weird. You follow? Let these people keep doing whatever they want to do. One day they will also conclude this, understand. You follow? Mala. Third question. Third question. Who's the third question? I don't even know who it is.
Prasad.
Huh? Oh, Prasad. You, okay. I was thinking Galaxy M21. Galaxy M21 artificial intelligence question. Yes, Prasad. If I say that it is because of my identification with three states, then I give or accept their existence. How to reconcile? Prasad, what are you saying? Unmute panunga, Prasad. Prasad. Yes, Prasad.
Sir, so we heard this said from these states, that is, we are never in that state at all. That's what the understanding should be. Again, when we say these three states, we give them an existence.
Yes.
So is it, I should understand it's an imaginary existence that I gave, is it? I imagine these three states.
You should say that it is existing because it is, you call it as existence because you are knowing it, you are experiencing it. The proof of existence is experience, correct?
Okay.
The proof of experience, the proof of existence is experience. The existence means somebody has to be there acknowledging the existence. So the knower brings the knowability. If you have to prove the existence of an object, then it must be known. Carefully follow the steps, Prasad. Again, I'm repeating. Any number of times we can repeat it. It's very, very useful. Step number 1. If you have to prove the existence of an object, it must be a known object. For you can never talk about the existence of an unknown. The existence of the object can be proved only when it is known for someone or the other at some point of time. Known here means experience. Known here means experience. If nobody has experienced human horns, human horn doesn't exist. Are you able to follow? Because nobody has experienced human horns. Therefore, it doesn't exist. Existence of an object is proved only when it is knowable, experienceable. Knowable means experience. Are you able to follow now? Are you okay till now?
Yes, sir.
What can prove the existence of the I? Nothing. Instead of saying nothing, we will say it is self-proven. We'll say it is self-proven, meaning it need not be known as an object of experience, known, and an object of experience is known through some instrument. So in order to experience, the object has to be there, corresponding instrument has to be there. For recognizing Brahman, which instrument can help you there? Which instrument can help me to know Brahman? That's question. Answer is no instrument. No instrument. Or you will follow. Therefore, never give the status of reality to anything because you are experiencing. Never give anything the status of reality based on the factor of experience. And we all will turn back and say, sir, Vedanta is so, I never knew Vedanta is so much of blabbering kind of knowledge, sir, because all this is known only through experiences. Body is experienced. Therefore, it is temporary object of experience in the waking state. The body that I experienced when I was a child and the body that I'm experiencing now is very different. Okay. Have you ever walked down the streets where you walked as a child? Have you ever walked down those streets where you walked as a child? Have you ever walked? Suddenly you will see the roads all have become narrow now. Have you ever experienced it?
Yes.
Your legs were very tiny and you have to take so much of long steps. Road were exactly the same. Are you able to follow? The experience of the legs with which you walked is so tiny that the road looked
Big.
The same road where we used to get runouts. Cricket we used to get run out. And the road, I used to think, how can a person ever get run out on this road? And every one of us got runouts. Are you able to follow, Prasad? It is entirely dependent on the instrument. Are you able to follow? That's why in Vedanta, this repeated analysis will be done. Experience in knowledge, it is dependent on the instrument, and instrument cannot give you the real knowledge because it has its own limitations. Again, and this is called manana. This is called manana. Again and again and again, repeating this is. Did I help you, Prasad?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Last one, Ram Subramaniam, and then we conclude for today. Yes.
No, sir. When you mentioned about Satyam.
Yes.
Anything that is experienced, are saying it is Nityam. Right?
Yes.
When you say Satyam, you are saying it can never be known, can never be experienced.
Yes.
So my question, sir, is we are talking about it. No, we are talking about something called Satyam, which is about the state of waker, dreamer, and deep sleeper.
Yes.
So how can we talk about something which we are saying can never be known or never be experienced?
Correct. What Ram Subramaniam is asking is, you yourself is saying Satyam is not, cannot be known or cannot be experienced. Then what are we talking as Satyam?
Yes.
What we are talking as Satyam, what we are talking as Turiyam, what we are talking as Brahman, what we are talking as God has got nothing to do with it. Just to give some direction to thinking, we use these words. Actually speaking, Turiyam or Atman or Brahman or God or you has got absolutely no correlation to what we think it is now. We all have some vague, all of us sitting in these classrooms have some vague idea of what it is. What is the reality? That's why when you actually get to when you actually get to there, you will turn back and laugh at all this. How unnecessarily playing with. But it is very necessary now. Why? If you don't do all this, you can never negate it. Everyone follow? That's why I started by saying, somewhere in the middle of the class also I said, all analysis, all explanations done in Vedanta is not to prove anything. Even the words of Satyam and Brahman and Atman is not to prove Satyam, Brahman, Atman. Even those words that we use is also to say what you think a Satyam is not Satyam. That's why I said another name for Turiyam is silence. Anything about Brahman, just stay quiet, silence. Are you able to follow, Ramsupur? Even these words are meant for explanation. Brahman, Turiyam, Advaitam, Purnam. Each and every Upanishad has, every Upanishad will use one word. Purnam, one Upanishad use. Turiyam, Kandukya. Shrotasya Shrotram, another Upanishad. Now, all these words are not meant to explain Brahman. All these words are not meant to teach you Brahman. Again, all these words are told only to tell you what? These words and Brahman have no correlation. Are you able to follow? All analysis in Vedanta is done only to prove the non-existence. Why? The existence is self-proven. The original existence is self-proven. As Maitreyi asked Yajnavalkya, if all the instruments of knowledge is known, Yajnavalkya, how will I know it? How will I know? How will I know that I have become Brahman? Experience kadayadu, instrument kadayadu. How will I know that I have ever attained self-realization? Then how will I even know that I attained self-realization? Swayam prakashate atma. Another word there. Swayam prakasha it is. By what light the sunlight is seen, Maitreyi? By what light the sunlight is seen? You see everything else with the aid of sunlight, but with what light sunlight is seen? Swayam prakasha it is. So it has a two ability. Sunlight is different from all other lights. What is the ability of the sunlight? It can light itself and it can light everything else around it. All other lights can light everything around it, but it cannot light sunlight. Oh, now I understood what Brahman is. Oh, if you think I have understood Brahman, Ken Upanishad. Naham manyesu vedeti, nona vedeti, vedacha, yonas tat veda, vedeti vedacha, syamatam dasya matam yasyana vedasaha, vijñātam vijñātam vijanatam. All these explanations you should understand and then finally say what? Okay, Brahman is not a subject matter of any word, any experience. Okay? Yeah. With this, we conclude for today.